Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we'll learn about the delivery date checks in SAP MM. As you know that on-time delivery plays a crucial role in materials management, and that's why SAP has provided certain checks during goods receipt to ensure compliance with delivery dates. So today we'll understand what is the meaning of too early and too late delivery and how we can configure the system to trigger warnings or error messages whenever a goods receipt is posted outside the allowed delivery date of the purchase order. So let's start. So to understand this concept, let's first create a purchase order. So we'll go to TCode ME21N, we'll enter a vendor code, material and some quantity here, and we'll enter the plant code and let's press enter. So you can see system enters a date in this particular column that is called delivery date. Now this date is basically the planned delivery date for this material. That is, we are telling the vendor that this material is to be supplied on this particular date as per our requirement. Now where from this date gets defaulted? If we have maintained the planned delivery time in the material master or in the info record, then system will calculate the delivery date based on that particular entry in the material master or the info record. If we haven't maintained the planned delivery time in the material master or there is no info record available, then system will default this delivery date from the PO date, as you can see in this particular case. Now let's say that our planned delivery date is 30th of September. So we'll enter it here. So based on this delivery date that we have entered in this line item 10, system will check whether any premature delivery is happening or not. That is, whether the vendor is supplying you the material earlier than this particular planned delivery date. Now, why do we need to have this check when the vendor is delivering material before this planned delivery date? Let's say that we have limited capacity in our warehouse. Based on our consumption pattern, we have placed this purchase order and we have entered this planned delivery date so that when material gets received on this date, we have enough capacity in our warehouse to store this material. Now, if the vendor supplies this material before this delivery date, then I will not have the capacity in my warehouse and I'll not be able to store this supplied material. So for such cases where you have fast moving materials and you have limited capacity, in those cases you must get this material on the planned delivery date only. If you get this material before this planned delivery date, then you may not have enough capacity to keep that material in your warehouse. So for that, you need to have checks in the system so that whenever someone is creating the GR, the person should get a warning or an error message that this material is getting delivered too early. That is, this material is getting delivered before the scheduled delivery date. So if we configure that message in the system, then based on the configuration done, system will give a warning or an error message. So this is the reason why we need a check in the system when the vendor is supplying material before this planned delivery date. Now on the other hand, we also need to have checks in the system when vendor is supplying the material after this delivery date. And the major reason behind that will be that the material is required on a particular date for your production to happen. Now, if the material is supplied late, then your production may get hampered. So in that case also you need to have check. But to have that check in place, this delivery date will not be used by the system. To check the late delivery, you have to go to this delivery tab. And here you can see there is a field called latest GR date. So to have a check against late delivery, you must enter a latest GR date in this field. So basically this latest GR date is the final date up to which you can accept the material from the vendor. The vendor may delay the supply, but only up to this latest GR date. So let's say that we enter here 10th of October. If you are creating a goods receipt and the posting date is after this date, then also system will give you a warning or an error message. So for early delivery, system checks against this date, that is the planned delivery date. And for late delivery, system checks against this date, that is the latest GR date. So now let's save this purchase order. So our PO is saved. Now let's see what all messages we need to configure in the system and how system behaves when we configure this message as the warning message or when we configure this message as an error message. So let's see that now. So you can see here For early delivery case, system will check your GR posting date against the planned delivery date. As you can see here, if you have entered the planned delivery date as 30th of September in your purchase order line item, system will check this date against the posting date of GR. And if the posting date of GR is equal to or later than the delivery date, then system will allow you to post the GR. That is, if the delivery is happening on or after this planned delivery date, then system will allow you to post the GR. If this posting date of GR is before the delivery date, then you have two options. Either you can configure the message as a warning message, or you can configure the message as an error message. If you have configured this as a warning message, system will give a warning and will allow you to post the GR. If you have configured this as an error message, then system will not allow you to post the GR, but you can post this quantity to GR blocked stock. As we have seen in our two-step goods receipt video, that for two-step GR, you can first post the quantity to GR blocked stock through movement type 103, and then you can release this GR blocked stock through movement type 105. So for early delivery case, if you have configured the message as an error message, then you can post the quantity to GR blocked stock, and when the delivery date arrives, that is when the posting date of GR is on or after the delivery date, then you can release this GR blocked stock. The message that we have to configure is M7254. The T code to configure this message is OMCQ. And for early delivery, system will always check your posting date of GR against the planned delivery date. Now let's see the check for late delivery. So as we discussed earlier, for late delivery, system will check against the latest GR date which is entered in the PO line item. So you can see here your planned delivery date is 15th of September and the latest GR date is 10th of October. So you are allowing the vendor to supply the material up to this date, that is 10th of October 2025. And if the vendor supplies the material after this latest GR date and you are posting the GR, then system will either give a warning or an error message. So you can see here, if the posting date of GR is on or before this latest GR date, then system will not give you any message and will allow you to post the GR. When the posting date of GR is later than the latest GR date, that is when you are posting the goods receipt after this latest GR date has passed, then you can either configure the message as a warning message or you can configure the message as an error message. And here also, when you get this error, you can post this quantity to GR blocked stock. And from this GR blocked stock, you can either post a return delivery, that is you can return this material to the vendor, or if the purchasing department allows late delivery for the material, then the purchasing department can modify the purchase order and change the latest GR date in the PO line item accordingly so that this GR blocked stock can be released. Okay, and for this late delivery, the message number is M7163 and you can configure this message through TCode OMCQ. So now let's see in SAP how we can configure both these messages and then how system behaves. So let's move on to SAP now. So you can see we have this PO line item with planned delivery date as 30th of September and latest GR date is 10th of October. Now let's first configure the message for early delivery. So we'll go to SPRO, SAP reference IMG, materials management, inventory management and physical inventory. And you can see here we have a link for define attributes of system messages. So let's execute this. So we'll go to setting for system messages, and for early delivery our message number is M7254. So let's see that message here. So you can see this is the message for early delivery. So let's mark this as a warning message here. So we'll select W here and we'll save this configuration. So now what we have done, we have configured this message as a warning message. Now let's post the goods receipt and see how this message is triggered by the system. So first of all, let's open the PO. So you can see here we have a planned delivery date of 30th of September. So now let's post the GR. So we'll go to MyGo. We'll select goods receipt, purchase order, and we'll enter the PO number here. and we'll press enter. So now you can see the posting date is before this planned delivery date. The planned delivery date is 30th of September and we are posting this GR on 24th of August. So now let's see how system triggers this warning message. So we'll have to enter a storage location here and then let's click on check. So you can see system gives me this warning message that earliest possible delivery date is 30th of September 2025. And if you go to details of this message, you can see the message number is M7254. So since we have configured this as a warning message, so system is giving me a warning that the delivery date for this PO line item was 30th of September and you are posting this GR before this date, that is 24th of August. And hence you must check with the warehousing department that whether enough capacity is available or not, and then only you should post this GR. So in this way you can trigger this warning message. Now let's convert this message to error message and see how system behaves. So again, we'll go to this configuration and we'll enter E here. So you can see E is for error message. You can see here. So we have entered E here and we'll save this configuration now. Now let's post this GR again. So we'll enter this PO number. We'll click on item OK and then we'll click on check. Let's enter the storage location. And then again, we'll click on check. And you can see now this message has been converted to error message and system is telling me that the earliest possible delivery date is 30th of September and I cannot post this goods receipt. So if I click on check or if I click on post also, I cannot post this goods receipt. Okay. Now, as we saw that if you are not able to post this goods receipt, then what we can do is we can post this quantity to GR blocked stock. So let's do that. So this time what we'll do, we'll go back, we'll again go to MyGo. We'll select goods receipt against purchase order. We'll enter the PO number here and we'll change the movement type to 103. And then we'll press enter. Let's click on item OK. And if we click on check, so here you can see system is not giving me any message. So I can post this quantity to GR blocked stock. So let's post this 103 document. So you can see we have posted this 103 document. Now we cannot release this GR blocked stock until the delivery date arrives. That is the GR posting date becomes equal to or after the planned delivery date. So if we select release GR blocked stock, press enter. If we click on item OK, enter the storage location, and then click on check, you will see you will again get this error message. Now once the delivery date arrives, then system will allow you to post the GR. So for testing purpose, let's change this purchase order. So we'll go to ME22N and we'll change this date to 24th of August. And let's save. And now let's release that GR block stock. So we'll go to MyGo. We'll press enter. And now the posting date is equal to the planned delivery date in the PO line item. So let's click on item OK and click on check. Let's enter the storage location and then let's click on check. So you can see now system is allowing me to release this GR blocked stock. So in practical cases, when you will get the error for early delivery, you have to post the quantity to GR blocked stock. You have to wait for the delivery date to arrive. And once the delivery date arrives, your posting date will be equal to the delivery date and then you can release this GR blocked stock. Okay. So let's post this GR and you can see system allowed me to release this GR blocked stock. So this is how you can configure the message for early delivery. Now let's see the message for late delivery. So you can see here for late delivery, the message number is M7163. So let's see that message now. So you can see this is that message which is currently configured as a warning message. So let's check this message. So to test this, we'll take the example of this purchase order. You can see this purchase order was created in the past, for which we have latest GR date as 30th of April 2025. So now let's create goods receipt for this PO and see how system gives you a warning message, as we have configured this message, that is M7163, as a warning message now. So let's create GR for this PO. So we'll copy this PO. We'll go to MyGo. We'll select goods receipt against purchase order, and this time we are posting with movement type 101. We'll enter this PO number here. We'll press enter. We'll enter storage location here. We'll click on item OK and let's click on check. So you can see now system is giving me a warning message telling that latest possible delivery date was 30th of April 2025. This latest delivery date we have entered in the PO line item here. You can see here, this is the latest GR date that we have entered, and since our GR posting date, that is 24th of August, is later to this latest GR date, system is giving me a warning message as per this configuration here. This message number M7163 we have configured as a warning message. If you go to the MyGo screen, if you go to the details of this message, you can see this message number is M7163. So in this way you can trigger the warning message. Now let's convert this message to an error message and see how system behaves. So we'll again go to this configuration and we'll enter E here. So now we have configured this message as an error message. Now let's again try to post the GR. We'll enter the PO number again. We'll press enter. We'll enter the storage location. We'll click on item OK and then click on check. So you can see now this message has been converted to an error message because we have configured this message here as an error message. And now you cannot post this goods receipt. So what we discussed earlier, if you configure this message as an error message, then you cannot post this 101 document, but you can post this quantity to GR blocked stock through movement type 103. So let's do that. So we'll again go to MyGo. We'll enter the PO number here and we'll change the movement type to 103. We'll press enter. We'll click on item OK and then click on check. So you can see now system is giving me a warning message. Although I have configured this message as an error message, when I am posting movement type 103, system is allowing me to post this 103 with this warning message. So let's post this 103 document. So you can see we have posted the 103. But if we try to release this GR blocked stock, let's try that. Let's enter storage location here. Let's click on item OK and then click on check. You can see still system is giving me this error message. So what we have to do is, since vendor has supplied the material after this latest GR date, we can post a return delivery and return this material to the vendor, or we can make changes to the purchase order, change that latest GR date accordingly, and then release this GR block stock. So to post return delivery, what we have to do, again we'll go to MyGo and we have to select return delivery, enter this 103 document here, press enter. And you can see system will post a movement type 124. This we have already discussed in our return delivery process video. If you haven't seen the video on the return delivery process, then you can check on my channel. I have kept the link in the description also. So currently we are posting a return delivery against 103. So system will post a document with movement type 124. Now if you want to accept this delivery and post the GR, then what we have to do? We have to make changes in the purchase order. So let's change this PO. So we'll go to the purchase order, go to change mode, and let's change this latest GR date to the current date. And let's save this PO. Now let's release this GR block stock. So again, we'll go to MyGo. We'll select release GR block stock. We'll press enter. We'll enter the storage location. We'll click on item OK and then click on check. So now you can see system is allowing me to post this 105 document. And why this is happening? Because my posting date is equal to this latest GR date that we have modified in this purchase order. Let's say that once the material is supplied by the vendor, you get this error message, you post the quantity in GR block stock, and then the purchasing department allows the supply of this material against this purchase order. So what purchasing has to do? Purchasing has to change this latest GR date, and then you can post this goods receipt. Or if the late delivery is not allowed, then you can post the return delivery against the 103 document that we just saw earlier. So here you can see now I can post this 105. So I'll click on post and you can see this 105 has been posted. If I again open this PO and if we go to the purchase order history, you can see this 103 and 105 has been posted. So in this way, we saw both these checks, that is check against early delivery and check against late delivery. For early delivery, system will check the GR posting date against this delivery date. For late delivery, system will check the GR posting date against latest GR date that you enter in this delivery tab of the PO line item. You can see here, this latest GR date system will consider for checking the late delivery. Okay, in both the cases, if you configure the message as warning message, you can post the GR. If you configure the message as an error message, then you cannot post the GR, but you can post to GR blocked stock and then take action accordingly. Now these messages you can also configure through TCode OMCQ. So let's see that. So if you go to the TCode OMCQ, it will basically send you to the same configuration that we went through SPRO tree. So in this way, we have seen how we can configure the messages for early and late delivery. We understood what is the meaning of early delivery and late delivery in terms of purchase order GR processing, and how we can configure these messages as warning and error message, and what actions we have to do when we get the error message in both these cases, that is in the case of early delivery and in the case of late delivery. So I hope that you have understood this concept, and I hope that you've liked this video. If you like my videos, then please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting more videos on SAP MM topics. See you in the next video with another topic on SAP MM. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thanks a lot.